Hello everyone, my name is Alba Lojo and I'm going to present the state of the art related with my conference. This is the first part where we will focus on the theory of constitutive rules. I have decided to focus only on the John Searle's theory of constitutive rules because he is the main reference in the philosophical literature. So we will see how he develops their theory through their main, of two most important books, Speech Acts and the Construction of Social Reality. In the first book, Speech Acts from 1969, he presents three arguments that allows us to distinguish constitutive rules from regulative rules. While in the second book from 1999, The Construction of Social Reality, he develops a little bit more and go deeper in the conception of constitutive rules. So, the first argument is the reference object argument. He says, regulative rules regulate a pre-existing activity, an activity whose existence is logically independent of the rules. Constitutive rules constitute and also regulate an activity the existence of which is logically dependent on the rules. So, the main examples here are constitutive rules, how constitutive rules help us to define or to create the concept of playing chess. And the example with regulative rules is, for instance, the polite table manners. So when we are in front of our regulative rules, we are in front of the classical rule, the prescriptive rule that tries to guide our behavior, tell us how we should behave in certain contexts. While the main aim of constitutive rules is create or define some reality. The next argument is the syntactic argument. Searle says, regulative rules characteristically have the form or can be comfortably paraphrased in the form do X or if Y, do X. Within systems of constitutive rules, some will have this form, but some will have the form X count as Y or X count as Y in context C. It's important from this argument that realize that from Searle is only a guidance. It's not a real formal criterion to distinguish these two kinds of rules. So we will see, or we will try to look for constitutive rules and try to look for this formula, but this is not a necessary one. And the unrealiability argument, Searle says, not all constitutive rules have penalties. After all, what penalty is there for violating the rule that baseball is played with 9 men on a side? Indeed, it is not easy to see how one could even violate the rule as the what constitutes checkmate in chess or touchdown in football. With this argument, Searle tried to show us that it's very easy to understand how we can break or how we can violate a regulative rule. For instance, if the politable manners tell us that we should go to a restaurant with formal clothes and we decided to go with casual clothes, we are violating this rule without any difficulty. But when we are playing chess, if we try to violate some of the rules, for instance, if we move the bishop instead of diagonally, vertically, we are, in this moment, we are not playing chess anymore, since the point of view of John Searle. In his another book, The Construction of Social Reality, he presents this important new approach to the constitutive rule, the status rules account. Here, he presents the status accounts, that means that when we assign a new status to the X term, through this formula, the X count as Y in C, we are assigning a new function and some new deontic powers. Furthermore, in this book, he also presents the important concept of collective intentionality and the collective acceptance. The classical example is bills issued by the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, counts as money, in the US. Thank you very much.